Iran is insisting tonight that it won't back down after trading sharply worded warnings with President Trump. Late today, Foreign Minister Javad Zarif tweeted the words, "Color us unimpressed," by Mr. Trump's tweet about dire consequences if Iran threatens the U.S. The president, in turn, was answering an earlier warning by Iran's president. We'll have a full report after the news summary. In another threatening gesture here at home, the White House says it is exploring whether to revoke security clearances for 6 former top-ranking officials. They are former CIA directors John Brennan and Michael Hayden, former National Security Advisor Susan Rice, former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, former FBI Director James Comey, and former Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders charged today that they've used their clearances for political and financial gain.
Making baseless accusations of improper contact with Russia or being influenced by Russia against the president is extremely inappropriate, and the fact that people with security clearances are making these baseless charges provides inappropriate legitimacy to accusations with zero evidence.
A spokesman for Andrew McCabe said that he lost his security clearance when he was fired in March. There has been another surge in migrant rescues in the Mediterranean Sea. On Sunday, Spanish crews picked up 447 people making the dangerous crossing from northern Africa. They rescued 329 on Saturday. The United Nations estimates more than 18,000 migrants have reached Spain this year, more than landed in Italy. In Toronto, police are investigating a shooting attack Sunday night that killed 2 people, including a 10-year-old girl. 13 others were wounded as the gunman fired into restaurants and cafes along a busy street. Authorities say he died later in a shootout with police. Toronto Mayor John Tory condemned the killings.
I'm, of course, angry, as we all are, that someone would carry out such an attack, which really amounts to an attack on our city itself. There are far too many people carrying around guns in our city and our region who should not have them.
Late today, the police identified the killer as Faisal Hussein, a 29-year-old man from Toronto. Japan recorded its highest temperature ever today, 106 degrees. It came during a heat wave that has gripped much of the country for nearly 2 weeks. People looked for any way they could to beat the heat today. The stifling temperatures have claimed more than 40 lives in Japan and 10 more in South Korea. A European heat wave and gale force winds triggered a wildfire emergency for Athens, Greece today. Thick smoke gathered above the ancient ruins of the Parthenon as fires burned west and east of the city. At least 2 people have died. Back in this country, a California fire burned closer to Yosemite National Park. The Ferguson fire has now scorched more than 33,000 acres south and west of Yosemite in less than 2 weeks. Nearly 3,000 firefighters are involved, but the flames have forced summer campers to evacuate parts of the park. The same heat that is feeding wildfires is scorching the southwestern U.S. Southern Arizona could hit 119 degrees over the next few days. Heat warnings extend from West Texas all the way to Southern California. In Missouri today, workers raised the amphibious duck boat that sank during a thunderstorm last week, killing 17 people. Divers located the boat 80 feet below the surface of Table Rock Lake. The team used a crane on a barge to pull it out. Coast Guard officials say federal safety investigators will now take over.
One of the goals and the objectives of the investigation is to evaluate if the operational guidance for Ride the Ducks and for this particular operation was followed. Again, they will be piecing together those witness statements and the condition of the boat and all of that information that you have mentioned in an effort to do that.
No one on board was wearing a life preserver. That is not required under Missouri state law. The U.S. Senate voted late today to confirm Robert Wilkie to be Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Wilkie previously served as the department's acting secretary. The president fired his predecessor, Andrew Shulkin, in March. On Wall Street, it was a mixed Monday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 13 points to close at 25,044. The Nasdaq rose 21 points, and the S&P 500 added 5. And Copenhagen, Denmark is getting a taste of Christmas in July. More than 150 Santa Clauses from around the world are in the city for 3 days. They're attending the 61st World Santa Claus Congress. The Santa lookalikes have to brave a heat wave in heavy suits and full beards. Still to come on the NewsHour, what is behind the president's tweet lashing out at Iran? Italy's new government aims to stop the tide of migrants. A disorder affecting children whose mothers drank while pregnant, and much more.